Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Divine Feminine Rebirth Show. I'm Julie from Maison Jupiter, and I'm here with my lovely sister, Sophie. How are you, Sophie? Oh, you're muted.
Hey,
Sorry.
everybody.
Good. Hi, everybody. I'm very excited to be with all of you and with my lovely sister for tonight's show because we're going to be talking about the mysteries of tarot. So, this is a topic that really fascinates the both of us. And I know a lot of you are also fascinated by the topic of tarot. A lot of you know a lot about it, and maybe not all of you. So, hopefully, we will all learn something new tonight because we're going to learn, we're going to ask a lot of questions to the tarot cards about the origins of tarot. Was it brought by humans? Was it brought by other civilizations? Is it from Atlantis? Is it from Lemuria? So lots of fascinating questions. So really stay tuned for that. And also what I would like is that if you have, let's say, personal questions or questions about tarot in general, also, please write them in the chat because Sophie will teach us a very simple technique to answer all of our questions. So we will be practicing on you guys' question, and Sophie will explain how she does it. So this is a three card spread, super simple to use. So we will also be learning a new technique to answer all of our own questions.
And if
And
you would like to, please in the chat share what is your favorite card. And I would like for you, Julie, to start. What is your favorite card of the Major Arcana?
Wow, I think about it. I think a lot of people already have posted their favorite cards. So, okay, Shauna says, High Priestess. Tim's favorite card is the Hanged Man. Interesting choice. Hi, Jay. Nice to see you. Hi, everybody. So let us know, yes, in the chat. And Jake says the Star. That's a great choice. That's a really good question. I would say I love the Empress for obvious reasons because it represents creativity, abundance, having like creative ideas, also the divine feminine presence, fertility in terms of like not just giving birth, but also giving birth to new ideas, to creative projects. So I really like this card. So I think that would be my favorite. Let me think about it. But what about you?
The Chariot. Now it has switched to the Chariot. It's really a
Wow.
weird choice. But through my research that I have done lately, I discovered that the Chariot was an amazing card. And we don't give it enough credit because I think the Chariot is, and stay with me on this, very romantic card. It means the two entities that would go separate places are aligned in one direction, one goal. And it talks about commitment. It talks about how you are fighting adversities and really going forward and evolving and learning. And that because of the veil that is on top of the Chariot, I don't know if you remember,
Yep.
but there is the veil with the stars on it. So with this, it talks about how you are the sole responsible for your life. You are not somebody that is going to ask for everything on a silver platter. So for me, this is really the most impressive card, I would say.
I'm trying to find it as you're talking about it so we can get a little visual. Oh, here it is. And it's interesting you mentioned that because the Chariot is my soul essence card in tarot numerology. So maybe we'll bring that up in another episode. But yeah, so and also Coco's soul essence card is also the Chariot. Awesome. Okay, so oh, thank you. Tim says, Julie, you are the Empress. Thank you. Appreciate that. Corbin's card is the Emperor. I love it. Corin says the Strength. Oh, that's a good choice. Strength is also an amazing card of power, great life force, empowerment. Rainbow Sun says the sun, so that's really in line with your name, Rainbow Sun. And oh, interesting choice. Ronnie says the fool. And I think that's a really good way to start our tarot journey here with the fool. Thanks to Ronnie and his amazing choice, because the fool represents, well, first of all, it is, in my opinion, the most spiritual card of all the deck. And it represents this soul that's about to embark on a new journey, but also can represents a soul about to incarnate into a new life. Because when we look at the tarot cards, it talks about the cycle of life, the cycle of incarnation, and all of the experiences that the soul is faced with on this on its spiritual journey, going through this incarnation. And the Fool is in between the first and the last card. So some tarot readers read it as, let's say, the first card of the sequence, some other the last one, but really it's in between, because we're going from one card and we're about to do a full turn, and then we spiral, because obviously evolution is not a flat circle, but it is a upward going spiral. So whenever we're at the Fool again, we start a new journey, but with I'm gonna try to find it, with a little bag on our shoulders of experiences we've accumulated. Would you agree with that, Sophie?
Absolutely, but I think the Fool can be also started at any point. You can restart a new cycle at any point, just like when we are dealing with stages of grief, we can go from one to another. So with this, I think the Fool can be restarted. This whole journey can be restarted at any moment in your life, just like the purge is never done. The Fool's journey is never really done. And it is very spiritual, like you said. It's so true, because this is a lot of courage. This is the Fool is the most courageous card. It is without a safety net, but just trusting the universe that we're going to have everything that is that we are deserving, and everything that is right for us at the right timing, without any planning. So any Virgo here will know that this is super stressful to go without any safety net, or the certainty of this, and without any planning and without any baggage. Can you imagine, Julie, going on a vacation without any plans and baggage?
Baggage, I would struggle with that. I have to say. Plan, I don't mind, but baggage, I need those.
I don't care for baggage. I plan for the. I really care for the plan. I need plans.
Wow. We're different types of Virgo here. I love that. And Ronnie says there is a good analogy to innocence and spontaneity. I'm having a struggle to pronounce that in English today. The beginner's mind. So I love that, because the Fool, as you said, Sophie, so well, is ready to embark on a journey. And I was looking for the card, but for some reason I cannot find it in my deck. But it's like a heart opening leap of faith into the unknown. But also, as you say, Ronnie, it's an analogy to innocence, spontaneity, and it's like the soul is like, let's do this, let's hop on this new journey. So it's also, we can take this analogy into learning something new. Let's say you're about to learn the mysteries of tarot. Thank you. So that's not the traditional card, but it's a pretty good analogy for that. Yeah. So anytime we start something new, we're like the Fool. We're ready to embark on a new journey, and having to trust the universe is probably one of the elements that makes it the most spiritual, because you don't have any choice but to trust that you have everything you need in this new experience, and your soul is going, like, I was going to say head first, but heart first in this case.
You say that, but in some decks that I have, the Fool is not ready to go, and in some of my decks there is a skeleton instead of this person standing on a cliff, because it took too much long time, and there is a lot of variation. That's why I love to use so many decks, where you get that a lot of richness in the stories of each step of the journey.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm gonna try to find it again because in the Rider Waite tarot deck, I like that there's a dog or a cat. I cannot remember what type.
Mhm.
Oh, here it is, of an animal there is. I think it's a dog.
Yep.
And it represents the fear of of the unknown. So there's always an element that wants to bring us back to the old ways of doing things, but nonetheless the fool is going in a new direction. So this is how we're going to start this episode today. And I want to first begin by asking you, before we dive into the mysteries of how it was, let's see, I was going to say invented, but brought to us, let's just say.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'd like to know on a more personal level, because this is kind of how we, one of the elements of how we reconnected together, Sophie, as sisters. Um, can I, because, and also like my ideas are going like 1,000 miles an hour at the moment. So it's probably because of the Mercury retrograde again. Um, Oftentimes what I notice is that in the people I know, whenever they're ready to dive into like another modality of spirituality, or, and in my opinion, tarot is a part, an important part of spirituality, because it is a tool how to connect with your intuition. Um, and ancient mysteries also. So I think like most people that I've witnessed when they come across tarot is that they have like a sudden crisis in their life, or they have like really important questions, and they're looking for a way of like, let's say, lifting the veil. And I know we've talked about that yesterday while we were filming, but is that the case for you? Like, how did you
No.
come across tarot? And I know you're a Pisces rising, so that might be a little different for you because you're always so connected with the veil, or
The lack of
the
the
lack
lack
of
of reveal. Sorry for the noise in the background. I didn't have a crisis that was needed for me to connect. I hope it's not too bad. I'm really sorry about the noise. I didn't need a crisis to get in touch with the cards. I remember when I was really young, we were at our dad's. I don't know if you were there, Julie, but we were pretty young at the time, and he is French, so he had the old French card. You know, it's the playing cards, but still the old ones for France are that the queens, the kings have very fancy things that they are wearing on those cards, and I was just fascinated by those cards. So playing with those cards, and plus our dad, it was really into past life and tarot, so I had to wait so many hours for him to get readings. So all of those things made me really want to get one reading and learn how to do it. So I learned pretty quickly. In high school, I learned the major arcana, which I stayed with only the major arcana for many, many years. Then when we reconnected, you and I, Julie, I don't know when exactly, but a few years ago, you were learning tarot. So I hop on this opportunity and I wanted to learn with you. But I don't know if you remember, but that lady that was teaching us, well, I had the books and everything with you, like the lists and the keywords. We're not learning the right keywords for most of the cards.
for the minor,
So
yes, yeah, for the minor, yeah.
yeah, so we had to relearn them. And at that point, my brain was like, I'm done. And the card start talking to me instead of learning what they meant. The cards started to I started to channel my cards directly. So I had an idea of what they meant, obviously, but I could not learn every keyword one by one. I channeled them, and somehow I got more information through this. But later on, I researched them, I learned more about this, and now I have the logic and my way of doing it. But I don't have the typical journey or the typical way of reading a card, I think. What is your journey?
And let us know in the chat. I'm curious also to know, because I think a lot of you know a lot about tarot. So let us know how you came across tarot. Well, my journey was, I think I was about to get my Saturn return, or like in the midst of it. And this is when like the big time spiritual awakening started for me, the Saturn return. And around the same time, I think it was a little before my Saturn return, I had like a heartbreak. And it was a very, very karmic connection where I had to know what was going on, and I couldn't understand what was going on, why I had to finish so quickly. And I was like left with a whole bunch of questions, but I felt something was very different from my previous connections. And at that point, I couldn't like really, let's say, label it as a karmic connection, but now I can. And it was like the pain of having that connection removed without knowing anything, without understanding anything, and without not having my questions answered, left me with like a huge, let's say, a void to fill. And I had like so many questions I couldn't find. Like it's not like, I don't think like back then it was such like a popular topic on internet or YouTube. I don't remember, at least I wasn't on YouTube looking for that type of topic, at least. But I was like, what's going on? And the only thing that could make sense in my mind is like, I need to learn tarot. And I remember when we were young, like really like kids, one of my favorite things to do when I was with our mom was like I would ask her to go on Saint Denis, which is like a famous street in Montreal, and there was like this store which was selling a bunch of tarot cards, and I Valet de Coeur. I don't know if it's still existing. And I would like go through the catalogs of looking at like all the different tarot cards, and I was mesmerized by this. I was like, wow, I wish I had like a special gift on how to read cards. But back then I thought only people with special gifts could read the cards. But when that like traumatic event happened, I was like, I'm gonna find a teacher and I'm gonna learn how to do it. So this is what I did. I'm sorry.
That's my sister. She's
I
always
don't know if
find
I
a
can do
way.
it, but I found a way. But yeah, back then I wanted to do it only for myself. Like I didn't think I would help other people with that. I was just focusing on like getting answers that I couldn't get otherwise. And yeah, so and yeah, the teacher that I found was a teacher that got like her information from generation to generation. So her grandmother was teaching her mother, and then so she had I would say valid information for the major arcana. But when we dove into the minor arcana, this is where like it was not like everybody else was reading the card. Let's just say she was using the Tarot de Marseille, which is not like the Rider-Waite tarot. Like the minor arcanas are not let's say we take the Nine of Swords. It's not like pictures who gives you like an idea of the energy of the card. It's like rather just like 9 swords, and the Ten of Swords is like 10 swords, but there's no like context on the image. So yeah. So, and when we started reconnecting together, I remember that you were like, yeah, I'm into it. I'm into it too. So we started practicing together. And at first, like we thought we were not good at it. We're like, oh my God, we're struggling with that. And well, I guess the rest is history.
Yeah, it's really a dream to be here tonight, to be able to say, you know what? I did that because that little girl, I was looking at those cards and was waiting for my father appointment, is probably looking at this show tonight and saying, wow, we made it. And this is a dream come true. So it's come true. So really, thank you for everybody that is here tonight. And I'm so grateful for this channel that is a dream come true.
Oh, that's so cute. And I think like we have to, probably the main challenge of, let's say, learning tarot or any other tool that allows you to connect even more with your intuition is to learn how to trust your intuition. because it's so easy to be like, oh no, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I need someone else to read the cards for me, or I need someone else to give me the answers. And we're always looking for outside validation where all we need is inside. So I think this is the true beauty of tarot. And this is the real challenge is to
Mhm.
really trust what you're doing. And I think, Sophie, you're doing an amazing job.
Thank
Uh, beautiful comment by Lorianne. Thank you. Uh, yeah. So I think this is like you did an amazing job because when you read the card, you're so confident in what you get, even though sometimes, let's say, I ask you questions, you're like, so this and this is going to happen, and I'm like, that's impossible. And you're like, well, that's what I'm seeing in the cards. And I'm like, well, that's impossible. And you're like, you keep your let's say your confidence and your calm, and you're like, yeah, we'll see. And then I call you and I'm like, you're right. You were right. You know that time where I said it was impossible?
So I
I
don't know if some of you are reading tarot for clients, but let me know in the chat if you have this kind of comment by your clients, because it happens to me all the time. And at first, I was so triggered by it because I was like, am I wrong? Am I really bad at this? Do I have any intuition in the first years? And then people came coming back and saying, you were right. And I don't know. It's not like just a, well, I'm not sure. We'll see. It's really, my clients are mostly saying that's impossible. And that's when I know, oh, it's going to come true.
Oh, so now when you say something and in my mind it's really impossible, I say like, maybe. Because like you've proven yourself to be right like so many times, so it's not even funny. Uh, awesome. I'm gonna keep starting a couple of questions for later part of the show. So keep putting your questions that you would like Sophie to answer with the cards, if you have any. Okay, so I have another question, more of a personal type of question.
Mhm.
So learning yourself, going through the journey of the tarot, going like, let's say, really deep into that really ancient wisdom, um, and getting in touch with the mysteries of this really mysterious art and science, which is tarot, in my opinion. What did you learn regarding life itself, or the cycle of life, or the way that time works? Are there like a few things that you've realized learning tarot and reading for people?
Yeah. So if you are somebody that is action oriented, tarot is going to work wonders for you, because timeline and the future can be switched most of the time by your actions. So the best way that you can use tarot is by not asking what is coming next, but what is the best option in your path that are in the future. Let's say you're questioning where you're going to move, and you're wanting to look at every option, or if you want to stay in a relationship or not, or whatever is the case, job or anything. This is how you use tarot, because timeline is switching with your future action from the time that you know what is coming. And I know it's complicated. Timeline are really complicated. Free will is extremely complicated. I'm trying to explain that the best that I can. I hope it's clear, but let's say my example that I give is so dramatic that everybody understands when I say that. Julie, if I say to you, tomorrow you're going to get out of the house, and by going out of the house, you're going to be shot and you're going to die. You're not going to choose to get out of the house tomorrow. So
Mhm.
knowing what is coming, you can adjust what you want to happen by your action, good or bad. So when you know what is coming, you can accelerate the future, delay it, or switch your path for the best one. And this is really powerful. We're not just telling you, well, you're going to meet a beautiful stranger. You're going to be able to, in fact, really apply your free will and choose the better path for you.
Interesting, interesting, and that could like unfold in so many different questions from here. Okay, what do you think is like the most powerful way to use tarot? what type of question does it work best with? What because like we have
Yeah.
learned, at least most people believe that tarot is not made for a yes no answer.
Mhm.
It's not made to read the future like really far ahead. So what kind of, let's say, the best wisdom could it give us? Like what kind of question or situation is it best to work with tarot?
I will say the reverse. I will answer what should you never ask the tarot. And this is
Okay.
one of the most, this is the most done mistake. I don't know how to you say that, but the one mistake that everybody does when they do tarot is that they ask, what should I do?
Ah,
What should I choose? What is the best for me? So there's two things in this. First, the people who answer, the people, the energy, the spirit that are answering your cards are source itself or your spirit guide that are divinely guided, so divine and sacred. And those people who answers your cards cannot interfere in your free will. So you need to be precise in your questions. You need to ask not what should you do, but what happened if I do this or this, so you have the power to choose your free will. If you're just asking what should I do, the card doesn't know if what you're aiming for is money, security, love, relationship, fame. So the should, it depends on what you are aiming for. And for
yeah, what's
this,
the desired outcome of the question?
exactly. So for this, it's always better to look at every option and to see which one is more aligned with what you're looking for.
Mm. Sort of when I'm doing a solar return chart, I'm looking at many different charts, and I'm like, okay, let's choose the best one.
Yeah.
Because all of like the options are probably gonna be have like, let's say, challenges. It's rare that we have like an option that is just love and light, right? Like
Mhm.
let's say we're pulling cards for three options or three different outcomes. There's going to be things that are challenging in each, but like you pick the one that uh that aligns the best with yourself, I guess.
The one that is not a lesson. Always pick the one that is not a lesson. You don't want to go back in a cycle of a lesson just because you didn't act with your free will. So it's
Mm.
important that we see what is the best. So we are not going through karma. We're not going through lessons. We're going for the fun. We're going for what you're aiming for, abundance, love, whatever is the case for you.
uh and I have another one for you. So regarding time, because I know we've practiced a lot, and like just between you and I, like we ask so many questions regarding time, and it's something that's really, I feel, based in the 3D reality. And when we ask the cards, oftentimes the cards are not based in 3D reality.
Mhm.
Like you're
Mhm.
kind of pulling information from other dimension, source itself, or higher frequencies. So it's really hard to take like that amount of information and bring it down here and put it on a timeline, right?
Mhm.
So what would you say regarding time that that can be either tricky, or like how can we read time with the cards, or how do you do it?
Yeah. It's not that the cards are bad. We say the cards are bad at timing because it's just the simplest answers and the fastest answer. The truth is more complicated. Like anything in the 5D, it's more complicated. So, like I said, because when you know what is coming, you have the power to interfere, to accelerate or delay it. So, if I say, Julie, you're going to break up with your partner, and it's going to be the worst experience, well, you're not maybe going to choose that option. You're going to say, no, I'm not doing this. And you're going to interfere in your timeline. Or you're going to say, that's it. I don't want to invest in it anymore. I'm cutting the cords already. You're playing a role in the timing. So timing is changing when you know what is coming. So that's why in consultation, it's harder to look at time. We have a sense of what it is if nothing changed. We know it if nothing changed. But it's hard to know what you're going to do next that is going to interfere with that timeline and other people free will. But we know when we pull the cards, we know what is the most what makes the most sense with a timeline. I really feel it comes with intuition.
And you're pretty good at it, I have to say, even with time, because still remember that reading you did on Christmas Day, and to this day, everything is so on point. Um, would you say that, let's say, you use the major arcana as like major learning lessons,
Mhm.
and maybe things that are outside of space-time continuum, more like based on karmic lessons rather than like the minor arcana where that can be more aligned with time? Is that how you use timing with the cards?
I use timing with a card with any cards, but the major arcana, I see those mainly as a big event that needs our attention right away if we want to have a chance to change them,
Mm,
because they're pretty much more set in stone when we have major arcana. So
yeah,
if we want to have the time to intervene and really prevent stuff, which is really what I like to do with tarot. Some people don't go with this. Some people just want to read what is coming next, and it's totally okay to just read the future. I like to intervene when I don't like what is coming. And when I have major arcana, for me, that means we need to go fast if we don't like this future that is coming in, because we have major arcanas.
mm. Interesting. I love the way that you develop your own technique, because we started together and then we use it similarly, but like I really feel like you've developed your own technique, but also like you read for a lot of people every day, so that makes a lot of sense.
But the
And
secret of it is really to learn the base and then to not work at it. You have to practice at first and learn the base. Absolutely. When you're starting to give consultation with people, friends, whatever it is the case, you need to not work at it, because working means logic. It means blocking what is coming and doubting. You need to always say the crazy stuff to the people you read, because that's the stuff that is coming through. That's where you are surprised at what is coming through. And this, you need to say it. So that's how you gain a lot of your own technique.
that's so true, so true. The times I did that, like I've read for my close friends, and to this day they still talk about like the times that I've read for them. And I don't want to read people anymore, but they're like, oh my god, 3 years ago you said that I would meet someone from France and they work with me, and that's exactly what happened. And I'm like, oh my god, okay, so that's so interesting. um well, before we dive into our really deep questions about the
Mhm.
mysteries of tarot, if you do enjoy this type of content, please don't forget to give us a like, and also make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And without further ado, my first question, Sophie,
Mhm.
and I know it is a very controversial question, because a lot of people claim that tarot was invented during the Middle Ages. Some people talk about Egypt, some other people talk about La Renaissance. So there's many different perspectives on the origin in
Mhm.
time of tarot. So let's start with, when was tarot invented? And then I'll continue.
So
I'm
it always been there. What were you going to say?
I was wondering if I should ask like my second, because it might be part of the first one, but it might be another one. So let me know if you want to do it
Mhm.
separately. But is it coming from the time of Atlantis?
Yeah, absolutely. So it says it always been there. So that means a very long time. And this, so the fact that we have Seven of Cups means that we had pieces of what is going to become tarot later on through many different cultures. So it took some elements from different cultures to build at what it is today that we're
Mm.
using. But I really see Atlantis. When you're seeing that, we have the boats right there on the top of this card, and we have the waves, and we have, so this was not the first version, but that was the version that is the most accurate with what we have today. The one that comes from Atlantis.
Wow, and that makes sense, because also after Atlantis, like a lot of, let's say, Atlantean went from, let's say, Egypt, Latin America, Europe. So we had like this, let's say, common ground where this really ancient knowledge was celebrated and that spirituality was celebrated, and then those people took their parts. And that's why I feel that tarot feels so universal. Like all of the themes that tarot touches is so how can we say that, like is so part of every human's experience very deeply, that it is truly international, and everybody goes through like the series of the 22 major arcana many times in their lifetime. So that makes sense, and it's outside the concept of culture, it's outside the concept of religion, so it's really universal in nature.
Yes, and this is because probably it touches the subconscious that we are sharing. It's still
Yeah,
Mercury retrograde, so I cannot speak, and it's all okay. But
you're fine,
this,
you're fine. I feel like today I'm struggling so much to put my ideas in order, don't worry.
you know what is really interesting is that every major arcana is still an archetype that we can recognize, but the Hierophant is a fun one because the Hierophant used to make more sense with being the Pope, being the one that is teaching you how to fit in society because you go to church every Sunday, right? But now that we have less and less people, at least in Quebec and at least in Canada, that goes to church every week, in some of the decks, you can see that the image has switched to a TV. So the TV replaces the image of the priest because that's how society can learn how to behave in community, because we learn through TVs now. That's the only archetype that I think has changed, really.
Well, yeah, but in the sense that it's kind of a spiritual authority. But yeah, you're right. Like the archetype didn't change, but like the way that it manifests itself changed. Like say in the minor arcana, the knights that are on their horses and they bring messages. So back then, like the horses were a symbol of messages, but right now that would be more like a text message or an email. But the horse still represents that idea of message. So that's kind of yeah.
You were saying spiritual leader. I'm so sorry, there is a lot of noise. You were saying spiritual leader with the Hierophant, but here we have a lot of spiritual leaders and meditation and everything on YouTube and on Rumble, and it's still TV. So that's just my opinion. I'm just thinking about this archetype that has switched, but yeah.
But also the high priestess is another one, thinking about the Hierophant, because in French, it's even more, let's say, evident that it is the pair, because in French it is the Pope, le pape, and the feminine counterpart, the high priestess, is la papesse, which is the feminine version of the pape. And like maybe aside from one legend that there allegedly was one woman pope that tried to let's say disguise herself as a man, as a pope. And if, let's say, the origin of tarot is coming before that story, which I think is the case from what the cards are telling us, where does this high priestess come from, right? And more so, even this idea of having a woman pope, which is kind of the idea of the French card. When we say high priestess, it makes sense because there is a lot of, let's say, high priestess figures in Atlantis, Lemuria. We know what is a priestess, but a papess, like a female pope, that's a really tough concept to grasp, right?
Absolutely. And a lot of teachers are saying that she doesn't actually go as the pair with the Hierophant, but is the feminine of the magician.
Interesting. Interesting. And yes, Lorianne says yin yang, lady and men is balanced energy. Yes, definitely. I love that. Okay, so I also want to know. Okay, so we got it is coming from the time of Atlantis. So who really invented tarot? Because he said it was always there, so it's coming most likely from, let's say, the collective unconscious. But like the real birth was during Atlantis. So who invented it? Was it humans? Was it let's say outside civilization, ET civilization, who brought it to humans? Is that a collective creation project from many different races? So who invented it?
Perfect. I like to use a deck that doesn't have any human on it when you're asking about question about history and timeline, because I will not look at any type of clothing that would be fitting in an era. So let's use this and let's see what we have.
The porcupine deck?
Not now. The porcupine was for the previous one, and now it's the animal deck.
Okay. To give a little fun side to this question.
So who invented it? We have the tower and the star. So you see where I'm going with this. It's
Yeah.
off-worlders, and it's through I'm
Spaceship.
hearing. Well, yes, but what is the word I'm looking for when the not adoption? You know what I'm trying to say, Julie.
Adaptation?
No, when somebody is taken away from abduction, I think.
Abduction. Yeah.
With two brains, we can speak.
Maybe a third. We needed a third one tonight.
So interesting, because that came out of basically this traumatic with the tower event, and somebody from a very, very good intention of giving us more power came in from outside of this planet, giving somebody this knowledge, and this person was able to have enough power, enough reach, enough either contacts or skills, but I would say contacts with this card, to really be able to create it. And this is a card of money. So a person that has enough mean and enough connection to create the tarot, to be able to push it in the world.
That is fascinating. Okay, so well, I guess it answers George's question, which was asking was tarot invented by good or bad entities?
Good.
So good, but can you give us more information on like the abduction itself? Because like the person, the entity from off-world had good intentions, from what I understood, bringing tarot.
Absolutely.
So where was this abduction scene taking place?
So the abduction was simple. Okay, that's interesting, because we have a fight in this card. So we are seeing that with the Four of Pentacles reversed, this person was not taking away for a long time. This person was taking away enough time to just put in the knowledge to come back and be placed back in the bed, like in the middle of the night, like this person was sleeping and having some downloads, but this person fought. So we know that something went wrong in this. And what was brought back, what is really interesting is that most of my cards are major arcana. I had the tower, the star, the sun, and the Hierophant. So the intention was pure. The intention was to start a new timeline with this tool that is a powerful tool for us human. And I was giving that was given through other civilization that are really good and really wanted to help, and chosen a person that would be really good for it. Again, another major arcana, the Empress. So somebody that would be creative, having the money to be able to do it, and the contacts to spread it enough.
Wow. Okay. Two questions for you regarding that. So Jake was saying thought before you pull the cards. So this person that I cannot really pronounce properly, was this we cannot say human thought, I guess. Was this entity involved in the process of creation of tarot, or the passing of the knowledge of tarot on Earth? No.
Four of Cups, missed opportunity, not this person.
I love that. And Jake is also asking, because of this abduction scene, pre-birth of or higher self giving permission for the abduction, but conscious mind doesn't know they agreed.
Oh, I have chills when you say that. Yes, absolutely.
Mm,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, me too. Good one. So it's oftentimes the case. So the conscious mind is resisting, but the soul already agreed for this experience to take place, and especially because it was like such a stair step in our evolution, wanting
Yeah.
to fast forward humans' evolution with that tool, very powerful tool that is tarot.
So we're talking about it was in the soul contract of this person, but once that time came, this person didn't remember, and something went wrong where this person was awake and conscious.
Oops. But still, the plan worked, right?
Yes.
I guess. And what did, let's say, what did it change for humans when tarot was introduced? Like, did it have the effect people wanted? Wow. Okay. So yes,
All
bringing
major
back
arcana. Yeah.
major awakening.
A major awakening, and also it's like a new religion. We have the announcement that is a keyword for this card also, so another kind of a religion that came up. So I think it was at first only the elite that was able to have this because it was really not known, and through time really being able to have a second chance of doing better, using it for the I have chills, to use it for the better, to have a better opportunity, better advice. This spread, and this was really powerful.
And what happened for it to spread to most people and just not just the elite? So what?
Here's your arcana. The high priestess. I think there was some kind of a religion born out of it. Some kind of, we don't have religion, it may not be the right word. Spirituality,
Yeah,
however you want to call
spiritual. Yeah, spiritual system.
it. So initiation through this, and the people, sorry, I'm losing my voice. People that wanted to have the same luck, the same power, the same advice as the other person who was succeeding at many things. It doesn't have to be money. It could just be that better life, happiness, and chance. Those people share their secrets, basically. It's not really a big secret.
Wow, this is fascinating. So even with this, let's say, missed abduction and
Mhm.
let's say failed attempt to, well, not failed because it worked in the end. But let's say they encountered a few challenges within the the story of the tarot, the implementation of the tarot, but still it worked with what was planned to, let's say, birth a new level of consciousness for humans, having more access to intuition and their tools. And wow, that's really fascinating. Okay, so that leads me to my next question, because let's say, so that was probably Atlantis, as we kind
Mhm.
of got from the cards. So fast forward a little bit later on, Catholic Church was like the main religion, spiritual practice, and tarot cards were demonized, right?
Mhm.
So why, and I have kind of an idea, but I'd like the cards to tell us what's the main reason why they perceive tarot as such a um what's the word? As a threat.
I
And I
will
have an idea, but that might be like a second question.
I really believe, and I will do the cards. I'm just trying to grab the deck right there. I really believe it's because men has power as with the law, with the advantage of society. They have strength, physical strength, of course. Women have intuition, and to be able to keep the power on women, it was easy to remove that tool that was intuition and their power in the same time. But that's my version of it. Let's, and you know,
Okay.
that's all that story with the woman wearing a hat always in church. That is your crown chakra. That is to block you having the crown chakra. So
Uh-huh. Okay, let me give you my hypothesis so that the cards can tell us if if we're on track or not. So, and I was thinking about like how the church went after like the reincarnation part in the Bible, and so they removed all the books that were talking about that. So, and the tarot deck is like so much to me a an expression of that, of the reincarnation cycle. So is that, and of course there's the women principle also, but was the reincarnation part of why church wanted to suppress the tarot deck?
Let's see. It's mainly for power. Yes. Okay. No, you're right. There is also at the end judgment. So reincarnation. Absolutely. The first card is mainly for power with the money. So there is also to keep the money and the power and all the resources to men. And they were probably using it. They were probably using way more than this, probably to know, to have more power, to keep the power on their side. But reincarnation is absolutely part of it. We know Catholic Church had the belief of reincarnation until it got switched by Constantine.
Constantine.
Yeah.
Yeah, our dad was was talking about that all the time, how he couldn't understand why they suppressed all the reincarnation principle.
Well,
but
it's easy. It's money. Do you
and
remember?
control, because like you can scare all the people about death and about going to evil. What is it?
Hell.
Hell. I was gonna say evil. To hell. Yeah. So that's kind of like the big, let's say, factor that they use to control people with.
When they
And
wanted
also,
to cut on the price of the army, they wanted to cut on the price of the law, the army, and any kind of control. They switched this so people would have the whole the judgment, the self judgment of, I don't want to do bad things because I don't want to go to hell.
yeah.
And then the cherry on top is church discovered, well, we can make them make amends by paying the church for everything that they do. It will be forgiven.
Talking about it now, we're like, oh my God, that's not so dumb. But yeah, wow, very obvious. Oh my God. Okay, so amazing. So I think we can say for sure that the tarot is a very, very powerful tool. And as you guys may have noticed, we have a special announcement today because we are launching Sophie's new tarot course. And we will share with you one of her techniques that she shares in the course. So stay tuned and we will answer a few of your questions that I have started with that technique so you can also use it for yourself. So Sophie just released her version of the tarot because she has let's say, this very special way and very powerful way of teaching how to read the cards super easily, looking with visual clues to read any tarot deck you have, a deck you feel connected with. And you have so much experience in reading for so many people, and you have gathered so many knowledge. And I love the fact that you streamlined, as a good Virgo, all of this knowledge into this course. And it's a video course that you can watch anytime you'd like on replay at your own pace and rewatch. And also there are downloadable documents. So what is, let's say, what's your specialty that you teach in the course? What way do you use the cards, and how, let's say, did you use this course into teaching people how to get this really powerful tool that is tarot to use it to answer your questions?
So as a good Virgo, I did a lot of research from the history of the cards, from the first card that we know of, from Tarot de Marseille, from Rider-Waite, and understanding each part of it, the colors and everything. So you understand the basic, you understand what was the intention behind this. And after, what I do is I teach you the very easy ways to now use your intuition for any deck. And what is really magical about this, that's my favorite part about this. Well, my favorite part is that I can use any decks, and I love to have many decks, but my favorite part after that is that the keywords comes to mind way more easily when you have many decks, because the images will change and there will be certain aspect of the card that will jump to your mind, and you will know which keyword to use at all time in a second. It will just come naturally. So this is really what I like. And I used to teach when I was working in a hospital, 9 to 5 job before I did that full time, the tarot cards. And I learned that many people are visual, other learns by listening, others work better when they work at it and they practice. So I try to incorporate all of those in my course so you can have the best chance of really having any part of the learning really easy for you.
I love that. And I have to say, you're an amazing teacher. You're very structured in your thoughts. And also, you have Mars and Aries in the first house. So Sophie is not someone who's going to talk for hours and hours. She's like straight. She gives you the information right. It's like, and something practical because you're a Virgo. So, really practical information that you can use. And so you're really giving all the keys for the people to learn how to either learn tarot or upgrade their tarot game, as we could say. And so this one is about the major arcana. So it's all about all the wisdom that is stored in those really magical cards. And I believe the major arcanas probably are, let's say, the most ancient. And we're probably going to ask the tarot cards after, the more ancient and the more advanced in terms of spirituality. So you will be able to read with just the major arcana, but it's also a really complete and beautiful course. So we are having a special launch promo if you'd like to register. And of course, all the courses are available now, so you can watch them at your own pace. So we have a 50% off discount only for 11 days. So really make sure you don't miss this if you are interested in learning tarot. 50% off, and the discount code is tarot50. So that will be until September 1st. So only 11 days to take advantage of this. And September 1st is a very special date. It is Sophie's birthday, so it's going to be super magical and really interesting one. We put also downloadable notes that you can take your notes as you're watching the video. So I think by noting and watching the video, you are integrating even more everything, all the keywords that Sophie's telling you. And tonight we have a special treat. So you're going to show us one of the 3-card spread that you use in your own life and in our own lives.
Yeah.
And we're going to use a couple of your questions that I started, and we're going to practice with this. So can you explain, this timeline spread, how you use it?
Okay, so this is really easy, and I still do it to the day. I really love this one. It's the timeline spread, and this is one card that you take for the past of the situation that you're asking about, the present, so the current energy of the situation, and the future of the situation. And again, if you don't like what is coming in the future, you know you have to change something in the present.
I love that. So that's really a tool you can use, a super easy tool and easy spread to, first of all, if you carry on in the same direction, do you like where you're going? Do you like the card that's in the future position? Or do you want to tweak the situation, act in a different way in order to change it? And then I guess we can also, let's say you ask a question today and you don't really like the future and you do something different tomorrow. Can we re-ask the same question tomorrow and get different cards?
You can even just, when I do consultations, sometimes I ask the questions starting by, okay, if we do the change that are needed that we just talked about, what is happening? And you can see the card changing already. The cards are really responding to your intention and where you're headed in your future.
I love that. I love that. So, okay, we'll start with this practice, and I have selected a few questions. Okay, let me just get to okay.
I'm choosing some decks. And I saw a comment, do you choose the card? Something about how you choose your decks. At this point, I go with any decks that I don't have. but I always recommend that you look at the imagery and that you get inspired by the imagery. There's
Mm,
no keyword that comes to mind. Just looking at some pictures, even if you don't read the cards, you know it's the right deck for you.
I love that. I think it's a great question from Maria. She's asking, I wonder if tarot came in because we missed our natural intuition. So we missed maybe connecting, finding ways to connect with our natural intuition. I've heard we won't need it moving into the newer vibrational earth. Can we ask the cards? Let's say if we do the timeline spread using this question.
Absolutely. Wonderful question. Oh my God. In the past position, we have the 2 of Wands. So this is 2 of Rods, which is 2 of Wands. So in the past position, you can see that he is absolutely in despair. He has a choice to make. He doesn't know which direction, exhausted. So this came on, tarot cards came in to help us making the best choice and to manifest the best timeline, because we were not going to go in the right direction at all. And some people got desperate about this. So we can see that it is really, as you say, we were not in contact with our natural intuition at that time. Now in the present, how it serves us, you can see we have King of Swords, and he's playing at the chess. So this is helping us to plan the next moves. This is helping us to be smart. So swords are really mental. Kings is mastery of the mental. So really having clarity on, okay, if I move this piece there, is it going to be good? If I do this change, is it going to be good? And in the future, we have the Devil reverse. So in the future, whatever future is in front of us, we know that this is still going to be useful to know more about how can we help ourselves to release some karma, to release, if there is still going to be karma, we don't know in the future that is coming. We're going to also use it to know about releasing fear, to know if we have it's more going to be a tool that we're going to use for ourselves, I should say, in the future. It's to really see through the illusion and helping us to evolve past some illusions.
That's a really good one, because I was reading a post today on Instagram about someone in spiritual realm that I really like to read on. And she was saying that, yes, it's all about learning how to listen to our intuition, but how do we know if it's trauma response or intuition? And that was such a great post. And I wish I saved it for the show. I didn't know I was going to talk about that, but it makes so much sense, because she said if we have unresolved trauma, sometimes we act from a place of trauma where we think it's our intuition speaking. So maybe we choose people that we think are safe and they're not safe, but we choose from a trauma response place and in an anxiety place. And we think that's our intuition speaking. So discerning trauma response and intuition sometimes is tricky. And I feel that it's also one of the ways that tarot can really come in handy in learning how to discern what's really true intuition and what is not. And sometimes, let's say when someone asks me a question for the tarot cards, and right away I have like an idea of what's going to be the answer, and then the cards say something else completely different. So also it is a really good way how to put your mind at rest and really just use your right brain instead of your left one. So a really good question, Maria. Thank you.
And also with what you were saying, Julie, it's really good that if you have an idea before you pull the cards on the question, say it before. So it doesn't stick in your mind. It doesn't go in your vibration, it goes out, it is said, and then you remove yourself from the question and you go in with your cards.
As opposed to
keeping that, oh, I think it's going to go this way. I wonder if the cards are going to go this way. So say what you have to say. Say to the client, I think it's going to be this, but let's see what the cards has to say. So it's out there. It's not stuck in your mind in a loop, and you are removing yourself from the situation.
And also the person you're reading for can really be like, oh, okay, it's not their conscious mind speaking, because the cards are saying something else.
Exactly.
Right? Ah, I love that. And Rosalie is saying, where do I register? Great question, Rosalie. So it is on maisonjupiter.academy. And the link is down below in the description box. If it's not there, I think I put it up before the show, but if it's not there, I will put it after the show as well. So you will end up on this page, and also on maisonjupiter.com, you'll see a link to the course. And it also points to this page where there's the discount code that is here, and also it shows a little bit of the structure of the course. So Sophie in the introduction is talking about how can we best learn tarot, so learning strategies, how to use your intuition, the mistakes we often do in tarot, how to choose your tarot decks, read reversal, not read reversals. So a lot of like questions, whether you want to do it for yourself or for clients. I think this is a great video to put yourself in context of how you're going to decide to read the cards. And then there's one video per card, which is kind of long. So you're going to have like a lot of documentation on each of the cards, and you have downloadable notes where you can put all the keywords that important to you as you're hearing Sophie speak about the cards.
And
And
just
also,
pausing there, the notes, it's you that fills the notes.
yeah,
Why? It's really necessary because some people learn this way, and I want it to be your way of doing it. So I
yeah.
want you to really see which keyword are for you are resonating and which word you don't want to use. So it's really fun this way. I use in each video, I will show you about maybe 5 to 12 different versions of the card from other decks. So you can have already a good image of what are you going to see from other decks and how easy it is to spot which keywords to use for each card. I always show you for each card the Rider-Waite and Tarot de Marseille to start with. So I really start you with a strong start point with references.
And you know what? Like, as I'm thinking of it, astrologically speaking, I think you are the best combination of Virgo and Pisces. And I think this is the best combination to teach tarot, because Pisces is coming from being a channel, learning how to use your intuition, like the pure channel intuition. And Virgo is like theory, is like applying this to practical real life and real life situations. So you're like, the best of both worlds, really. Virgo sun, Pisces rising. So yes, and in the conclusion video, Sophie teaches a couple of easy card spreads that you can use with, and it's also in the downloadable notes. Also, how to protect your deck, how to protect yourself while you read for other people that can be a challenge, especially when you start. How to correctly ask questions also is part of the course. And yeah, there's also a sub community that is created with this course, so you can ask questions to other fellow students, also share your spreads with other fellow students, and they can help you answer your questions, and also you can share with a lot of people from the beautiful community. So maisonjupiter.com or maisonjupiter.academy, and look in the description box. I think it's already there, and it should be there. All right. Oh, thank you so much, Molly, saying so grateful you will be offering this course. A lot of people are very excited about this course, Sophie. So thank you so much, everybody. Really excited about getting on this learning journey with you. And I have to say, we chose this specific date to launch this today because the moon today is conjunct with Neptune in Pisces at 29 degrees. So the crisis degree of Pisces, but also the prophecy degree. So Neptune in Pisces is at home. 29 degree is the prophecy. So Neptune in Pisces is the straight channel, is the easy access to intuition. And the moon there also emphasizes your intuition, and it allows you to connect really deeply with your inner knowledge. But also, as we know, there are other side effects to that placement, being extra sensitive to everybody's feelings. Can you talk about it, Sophie? I think you have felt this conjunction today, right?
Did I? I was just before the show, I was crying just because of nothing. Just, I was like, what is going on in the world? Why am I crying? I'm not sad. I don't know anything. I mean, there's nothing bad that is happening. Why is that the way that I feel? And was like unstoppable. And she was like, you know, it's moon on Neptune. So you're just picking up on everybody. Right, perfect. So if you're feeling like this today, if you're feeling anxious like I was today, or any other sensitivity, dreams, or anything, because Moon and Neptune, I mean, dreams, um, it's all okay. We're all in this together in this community, and we're all supporting each other and accepting of the good and the bad. So don't be stuck in this good vibe only. It's okay to show that there is sometimes that it's not perfect. And if today it's not perfect, it is okay. We are all here to support each other.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is like the best way to channel this very strong Neptune and Pisces is to do something spiritual, to connect with your channel, to allow yourself to tune into your right brain, which is your intuition, your creative side. And creativity is so close to intuition. It's closer than we think oftentimes. If we look at the cards and we think we're inventing a story, oftentimes we're really close to the truth and tapping into our intuition. So that's Neptune. So that's why we chose this date. And of course, Neptune is going to stay in Pisces for a couple of time now. But I think this is the perfect time to channel the really best way of how to deal with this Neptune. That can be a struggle sometimes. And Lorianne says Sophie's going to share her tricks of the trade. That's what I love about this course, because Sophie has proven herself to be so on point with her predictions that I think a lot of people wanted to learn your specific tricks of the trade, as Lorianne put it. So I think a lot of people are super excited about it. Britt Merritt is saying, Sophie, congratulations with your fantastic course. Jake is saying, already bought it. Awesome. Thank you so much. Molly is very excited as well. A lot of people are really excited for this course. And okay, let's continue maybe with one other question or two so that we can use this awesome 3-card spread. Okay, so there was a question. Okay. Interesting one from Lorianne. Sophie, are you and Julie moving to the US in 2025 to do television?
Okay, let's see. So in the past, we have the card of the home. We're staying put in the past. And the present, we have Page of Cups. So somebody is thinking about this, and there is some little heart that is going in that direction. So there is something that is pointing that it could be happening. Let's see, in the future. We have the Magician. So this means it's up to free will. And if somebody really wants to do it, it's absolutely possible. So this is a possible future where if we wanted to, we can absolutely create it. As above, so below is this card that is all about pointing up, pointing down. That means that what you believe in and what you're thinking in your brain is going to manifest in the treaty.
Wow. All right. That's interesting. That's interesting. I was kind of afraid to be, you're going to be like, yes, because I wasn't ready for that. But I keep this possibility open. Thank you so much, Lorianne, for the question. Yeah. Okay. Good question, Rosalie. Why do Americans, Canadians use the word rising in astrology? We in Europe use ascendant. So we use both. It's just that it's not exactly the same meaning. It is close, but the ascendant in astrology is the line where your rising sign starts. So it is the line that will show exactly the degree of your rising sign. So the ascendant is like 1 degree, it's one line. And the rising sign is one whole sign that is that is on your ascendant. So both are similar in meaning, but they are not exactly the same. So I hope it answers your question. Wow. Okay. So maybe one last question to end this beautiful show. Okay, I have a good one, I think, Sophie. And maybe we can use the timeline spread for that. So okay, if we use only the major arcana, or no, just use whatever you have. If we take the timeline spread, where are we now as far as our collective consciousness in our evolution as a humanity?
As a humanity, okay.
Yeah. As far as our, let's say, as the evolution of our consciousness.
Okay. Wow. Are you ready, guys?
I don't know.
In the past, we had the slowest card in the deck, the Knight of Pentacles. So our evolution was really stuck for a long time, and even maybe going backwards. So you know what I'm saying with this. In the present moment, we are stuck in, I'm so sorry about the nose. I'm going to close the door, Julie, just a second.
Go ahead. And everybody, thank you for the moderators for the work that you're doing. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. In the present moment, we have a 9 of Swords, and this is the fear porn that basically we're going through right now. A lot of people are draining people with what is happening with the event, and this is a lot of fear that is going on. So that it is one side or another, we're just going to say that there is a lot of fear that is draining the vibration and lowering the vibration right now. So we have to watch this as a community and as a collective for our evolution on the higher vibration.
So that's the card for now. Wow.
That's the card for now. The card of anxiety.
That makes sense with all the viruses that you're talking about, like all the fear campaigns, and even in alternative media, it's not we're not, let's say, outside of fear mongering.
No, it is a powerful tool of control. We have to watch. It is our responsibility to sense, okay, my nervous system is really not feeling good when I do this, or I'm talking with this person, or I watch that, or listening to that music. You have to really be conscious of what is draining and lowering your vibration and what is helping your vibration. You want to have the highest frequencies that you can, because that you are in one way or another on your belief, your vibration is your vibration. So you have to watch what you're doing with it.
Wow.
And now Edmund is really sad because he cannot go outside, but okay.
Okay.
We have 8 of Pentacles for the future and a Temperance.
Wow.
So there is a lot of evolution that will be accelerated, but we need to learn a lot. And what do we need to learn? We need to learn how to merge with our differences. So Temperance card is taking from 2 different cups and merging the 2 different energies. And I've been saying that from the beginning, and I know you're probably sick of hearing about this, but it is about respecting everybody and really making peace. It's super difficult. I'm not even the best at this myself, but we know this is what we are supposed to go for. And we know that we're supposed to learn to really make peace with differences, and that we're supposed to merge together in this, making us stronger. It is a really difficult task, I give you that, but this is what is apparently going to make us all evolve.
Well, I'm glad that the Temperance showed up, because the present card doesn't look so good. So thank you for clearing that up. And it gives us a lot of hope that fast evolution is coming, but we need to work at it. 8 of Pentacles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I love that you talked about like merging the polarities.
Mm-hmm.
So not looking at something with just like, let's say, saying this is good, this is bad. Tarot is evil, for instance. So there's good and bad. And I think tarot is using polarities in such a a smart way because every card has its light side and its dark side. And we merge sometimes when we read the cards, we merge the different sides, and depending on what are the cards next to the card we're reading, or if it's up, if it's upward, if it's reversal, if it's in a negative position, if we use a different spread, then we're going to be able to get like all the facets of a question. It's not just this is good, this is bad, this is black, this is white. There's a gray zone that tarot really uses.
Yes, and as human, we're really uncomfortable with that gray zone, but our job as evolved being and trying to be even more evolved is to always question and trying to make a mix of not going into any extreme. So we want to really keep questioning, getting more information, always learn. And by this way, you can always know with your gut and with your instinct, is it good or is it bad for me at this moment?
And just want to say, I just had a download as of beginning of 2025. We're going to have a major astrological change, which is a north node that will be moving into a different sign. So it will be going from Aries, the warrior sign, to Pisces for the next year and a half. And we're going to have the first eclipse in Pisces in September to give us a preview of what can happen. But Pisces talks about spirituality, talks about opening up your channel, connecting to your intuition. So what we're being guided to launch today with this tarot course is serving a purpose for the next year and a half, because collectively we're going to be asked to really learn how to tap into our intuition and get the answers ourselves to the questions that we're asking. I love that. Thank you so much, Sophie. And before we go, I just wanted to talk about some beautiful shows that will be coming up for the rest of the week. I'm very excited about some of it. So tomorrow we're going to have the pick a card at noon. And we have a very new formula for our Astro and Tarot monthly prediction show, Sophie and I. So we just recorded that yesterday. I just finished editing a few minutes ago before the show. So this is scheduled to premiere tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we edited all the different signs. The zodiac signs have their own video for the September predictions, which is the beginning of the eclipse season. So we give you all the predictions for your sign. So it's almost like a personalized reading, and with the tarot cards, with the astrology, and we put a lot of love into it. And I think you guys are going to be very happy. And we also have a giveaway for a member of the community who's going to be announced during the show, who won a consultation with Sophie. So also stay tuned to that. So this is going to premiere tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. So look for that. I'm super excited about this. Very proud of this new show. Well, not new show, but 2.0 Astro and Tarot predictions.
Yes.
And on Friday, we have another beautiful surprise by the beautiful Sorita. She's going to interview Dr. Jonathan Reed. And we titled it, and I'm going to show you the cover for the show. So this is our astro prediction that's going to premiere tomorrow. So this one here, the most amazing ET case ever with Dr. Jonathan Reed. Lots of pictures. It was really like front row meeting an actual AT. Has lots to share. We are all very, very excited about this episode. Really happy and really lucky that we are having this wonderful guest on the channel. So this is going to be Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, live with Soul Rita and her guest, Dr. Jonathan Reed. So don't miss this one. It's going to be really, really good. Very excited. Thank you so much, guys, for being a part of this community. We love you so much, and we appreciate you so, so much. Thank you, Tim. Yes, we keep improving the shows all the time. Yes, we had a tarot meeting with the beautiful Sophie, and we took advantage of this Mercury retrograde to put in some changes, but also listening to you, the community, the audience, what you like, what you want us to tweak. So we always appreciate all the suggestions that you guys have for us, because we know that Our goal is the same. We want to reach a lot of people, but also to give you quality content. And we strive to give the best information and the best way possible to distribute this information. So thank you so much. Thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate your comment. And Maria saying, looking forward to the Astro Prediction Show. Love you, ladies. Yes, I think you guys are going to not want to miss this one. And of course, you can also listen to your sun sign, your rising sign, your moon sign, and also the signs of the people around you. So I think you guys are going to be very happy about this. So thank you so much. And also don't forget to like this video if you did enjoy the content, and we will see you very, very soon. Have a beautiful rest of your week, everybody. Love you. Bye-bye.